Hello, everyone. We are fresh off of coming back from Explore, and I want to kind of go through the keynote with you. Hopefully, you find this valuable, but let's listen in. We're streaming the keynote here together. Explore
Please
Las Vegas.
welcome Chris Wolf.
Chris, as you know, big VMUG proponent, many time speaker at VMUG all across the globe.
All right. How y'all doing? All right, I like it. I like the energy already. I'm pumped. And I love that saying there. I mean, simplicity is a superpower. That's strong. And some of you might have heard this from me long time ago before I joined VMware. I used to tell people that complexity is great for profits, just not theirs. And simplicity, it certainly can be the antidote, certainly a powerful antidote. And I've been thinking back, I'm starting to get up there, I guess. I've been working with VMware products and technologies now, coming up on 25 years. And I've never been more excited about our future than I am right now. So where are we at? You know, first, you already heard that quick introduction with VMUG. What you may not know about our extended family here, our VMUG family is 150,000 members strong in more than 50 countries. How about that? All right.
All right, of course, I had to get to the point where Chris pointed out VMUG on main stage. You know, if you've been to Explore before, you've heard the voice of God, but now we got it on main stage. So thanks to you, Chris, for doing that. So no, we're not going to go through the entire keynote like this, but I did want to bring that up in the beginning. So let's fast forward now, see if we can, and bring up Pak Tan, because I do want to go through what he said. He was on stage for about 10 minutes, and I'm going to be pausing as you go. So there's going to be some real-time thoughts on the fly here.
Welcome to VM Explore. You know, it's great to be here. I'm amazed at the energy in this event, and it's great. It's been almost a year since Broadcom acquired VMware, and from conversations with all of you, okay, we've been hearing lots. And here's what we've been hearing from you. You're telling us you want our products to work better and be more user-friendly. You want them to actually work together. You're asking us, you're asking me particularly, roll up your sleeves, do the hard work, and you'll see over the next hour, that's exactly what we've done.
So let me pause it right there. I love the 3 points he says: work better, be more user-friendly, and work together. I mean, really, those are kind of two things: more user-friendly, work better, more together, those kind of things. Those are things that we have heard from our VMUG members. And so he is listening, you know, getting it done. That's kind of the next step. I think 5.2 was a great step in that direction. You're going to hear in the keynote, you probably already heard it, about VCF 9. That's going to be a big step forward too as well. But you can't deny the focus on VCF and only VCF and breaking down their internal silos is starting to deliver great technology. So let's continue to listen on.
Now, you're going to see a change here at Explore this year. Sorry. Now, because we are serious business people. So are you. We are all about business at Broadcom, and we're here to help you run your business more effectively. We're not here to show you bright, shiny objects. And talking of bright, shiny objects, 10 years ago, your CEO, your board of directors fell in love with the promise of public cloud, and they drove you to public cloud first. Because of this, I see it, you're all now suffering from PTSD. You're confronting the 3 C's of public cloud.
All right. So I love the joking in there, you know, got a little laugh from the audience. So that's always nice. But let me back up to what he said about serious business. I like that messaging. Look, Broadcom obviously is a serious company. You think about it. This is Pak Tan, president and CEO of Broadcom, on stage addressing VMware users. Now, Hock Tan, obviously, he's the president, CEO. Broadcom's about 30 different divisions underneath him. They all run like different companies, big companies in some cases. And so this is a major player in the IT industry, a major player in AI. Yes, NVIDIA and Jensen gets a lot of the attention, well-deserved attention, but anytime you dig slightly deep, you see Broadcom there, definitely in the mix when it comes to AI with their chip production and what's going on with that. So, serious business. We need to act serious as well. Not saying that we haven't in the past, but I think the culture of VMware was different than the culture of Broadcom. Obvious statement, I know. But I think this is where you need to be thinking from a mindset. Serious business. How can we get the most out of VCF, out of VVF? How can we negotiate with Broadcom? You know, they want us to be serious. Let's be serious when it comes to negotiation. Let's be serious when it says, look, this is the value this is bringing me. This is what I'm willing to pay. And tell them, look, this is how you've got to make this better. So we will continue to adopt up the stack. No doubt VMUG members want to gain that skill set and move up the stack, but we need the software to do it. So I thought that was important. So he has a comment in there about, you know, previous VMware, I'm paraphrasing here, but previous VMware really pushing you to the cloud. Yes, I think that's true. How successful that was, not so sure. Most of the VMUG members I talked to are still running on-prem. And we saw last year, 2 years ago, VMware's messaging went from, you remember, Cloud First, Cloud Chaos, Cloud Smart, and now it's like run the workload where it makes sense. I think that's what Hock's saying is here. I also think that's what our majority of our VMUG members are. They haven't gone to the cloud. And when I say cloud, I mean running critical workloads in the cloud. I'm not talking about, you know, you've got your M365 instance or your Azure spun up over here, or maybe a workload or two, an app or two in AWS. I'm talking about really being in the cloud. Yes, some of you have, but I would say the majority have not. And you're really in a good shape because you can now move to the cloud if it makes sense. You know, if Broadcom's going to bring the cloud operating model to you, then you can determine where you want to go. And he says it in here about, look, clouds, multi-cloud still something you need to be aware of, right? You might need it for, you know, expansion or DR or things like that. So it's focus on run the workload where it makes the most sense. And, you know, I agree. I think cost, complexity, compliance are big things when it comes to public cloud. Cost, of course, refactoring those apps to run in native is kind of tough. I think that this is referring to native cloud. This is not my opinion. These cost, complexity, compliance doesn't apply as much if you're running a solution like GCVE or Oracle VMware Cloud Engine or VMC on AWS or the Azure VMware solution. So there's a lot of things in there to kind of break this down. But let's continue on with Hock's words.
Cost. Public cloud is much more expensive, more so than you can ever expect. Complexity. It's another platform. It's another extra layer for you to manage. And in compliance, if you have regulatory policy requirements, it's more complex, it's more expensive. In fact, a recent survey done over many global CIOs by a reputable global bank confirms more than 8 out of 10 CIOs today are moving workloads back on-prem. That's a huge change since the beginning of the pandemic 4 years ago. So
just a comment on that. I think from larger corporations, I have no reason to doubt those numbers. But again, I think for the average VMUG member, which is going to fall in that commercial or SMB, you're not going to be repatriating because you've never been there. You're not there. You're not probably going to go there. But that being said, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think Hock's message of building out the on-prem cloud should be music to your ears because it's going to get easier to continue to do things on-prem.
Here's my view. Very simple. The future of the enterprise, your enterprises, is private.
All right, we'll hear what the rest he has to say, but I'm interested in what you think about this. The future of enterprise is private cloud, private AI, private data. I think it's going to be wherever the workload works best. I do think most of those workloads are going to work best on-prem and in a private cloud type scenario. I would also say that doesn't necessarily on-prem, maybe you're buying a rack, from a cloud service provider, maybe not consuming their cloud, but I would think about it from an aspect of your power and your footprint. Maybe get out of the data center business from the aspect of, again, the power pipe ping. Look for service providers. Why do I say that? Because of AI. AI is going to be demanding a lot of power. And my guess is your data center, on-prem data center, does not have the power requirements that it's going to need for the future. Let somebody else worry about that. Let a Rackspace worry about it, a Flex Central, those kind of folks to worry about it. And that way you can focus on where you're going to be running your private cloud. Also being in those facilities, you have the ability to expand out to the hyperscalers with ease because they all have direct connections in them. If they don't, you should ask and make sure you go to one that does, but has a direct connection, low latency. So get out of the infrastructure, power, cooling, those kind of things business, put it up there. But if you want to continue to run your workloads with devices and compute that you own, Octane's leading the way, VMware's leading the way on how you can do that. And it doesn't limit you. You can still burst out to hyperscalers.
Private cloud, private AI, fueled by your own private data. It's about staying on-prem and in control. Of course.
I would also add one more piece about the private data being on-prem. You avoid those ingress egress charges. So it's going to be a lot less expensive there. It should be a lot less expensive there. And as we know, AI is fed by data, and we all got boatloads of data. So we're going to want to feed everything we can to the AI, and that is going to take a lot of bandwidth back and forth. So that's another reason to consider doing this on-prem and private.
Of course, you continue using public cloud for elastic demand and bursting workloads.
Agree with that.
But in this hybrid world, the private cloud is now the platform to drive your business and your innovation. And we have work to do to make that happen. Just look behind the curtains in your environment, which is why, in the first place, you moved to public cloud. There's plenty of room for improvement. You inherited legacy of data centers, which has created best of breed in compute, in storage, in networking. You're very siloed. You are so screwed because silos don't work well together. And it's painful for you to deliver services to your internal customers. When something breaks, as it often does, everybody is pointing finger at each other, right? Makes you less resilient, days to find root causes. You want to deploy a new application, you need to write a ticket, to your IT department, and you might just get that virtual machine 2 months later.
All right, a couple points on that. First thing, VMUG's met with Hawk many times now, and he's a straight shooter. You hear it in this keynote. This is not the type of keynote we would have seen or type of jokes that, in candor, I'll say that we would have seen in past VMware. I welcome it. I think it's great. I do think running in siloed is not ideal. We do have a lot of people still doing it, right? It's not the end of the world. I also point out that I think at one point he said, if you get a VM 2 months later, I think we can reduce it down a little bit from that. But his point is, the more siloed you are, the harder it is to get things done. And so I think that resonates with everybody. And it's kind of interesting, pre-Broadcom, VMware was kind of siloed itself. You had your vSAN group, your vSphere group, and your NSX group. And yes, vSAN and vSphere came together, but NSX was still over here. Now it's all about VCF, which is paying dividends as far as speed to getting improvements into the product. So let's continue on with Mr. Tan.
In VMware, we believe we have the solution. We're taking the software we have grown to trust and love, ESX, vSphere, vSAN, NXX, and vRealize. We have made it all work together very well. And we will enable you, and we have enabled you in so many cases, to deploy it as a full stack to virtualize your entire data center. In fact, to create a single platform. And we call it VMware Cloud Foundation, or VCF. It's resilient, it's secure, and it costs much less than public cloud. We're not stopping there either. It's not just enough to build this nice Taj Mahal. We need furniture. And you want a rich catalog of microservices like you do get in public cloud to develop and deliver services at high velocity. And that's exactly what we've done. You see here, we have security, we have disaster recovery, automation, ransomware, orchestration, and now private AI, a product just released 3 months ago. All this rich catalog of services run on top of VCF. You are, in fact, if you think about it, getting AWS on-prem. So before I close, I do want to come back to the 3 commitments we made when we acquired VMware. First, we're simplifying VMware. We're simplifying the business, the products. From 8,000 SKUs before acquisition, we're down to 4 core offerings. That's all you need. Second, we're investing a lot to make these products easy to use and easy to work together, and to give you that robust catalog of advanced services to help deliver your applications. And finally, very importantly, we are investing to enhance the ecosystem for our partners and for you, our customers. Let me close with this. Your success represents our success. All of you here, clients, partners, friends, you're part of a community. You are the experts in private cloud. And as the pendulum swings back, your expertise in your enterprise, it will become more valuable than ever. With that, to dive deeper into VCF.
All right, he's going to hand it over now to Paul Turner, and we're not going to go through the entire keynote. I'm going to wrap it up here, but a few things. Microservices. So they're starting to talk about the additional services differently. Microservices, and that's very much in a cloud type verbiage, if you will. You know, I was on a call earlier today, and I kind of learned why. I get a lot of questions about why DFW, for example, isn't part of VCF. Well, the answer is none of the big hyperscalers do it that way, right? All that kind of stuff is an add-on. You can pick and choose what you want to. That's kind of the beauty of it. Obviously, you're going to get your core, compute, storage, and networking, and then everything out of that. Even some of the automation is going to be, you kind of pick and choose. So obviously with VCF, you do get vSAN, vSphere, NSX, and ARIA. So you've got the automation in there. If you want the DFW distributed firewall, you can get that as well as load balancing and things like that. So interesting how this is kind of a shift, talking more like a hyperscaler, even though you're doing it on-prem. I think that's a good move. Kind of get people thinking, okay, these are really like for like here. The second thing is the partners. Partners are going to play an even bigger part in the future of Broadcom. Why? Because Broadcom wants to stay focused on what they do best, and that is running a business like a business. He said it earlier, they're a business. Make no mistake about that. They're here to make money, and Hock Tan's track record in the stock market is amazing. So that's what they're going to do. They're not going to focus on what they're not good at. And not saying they weren't good at support, but they want to push a lot of that support down to the partners. So level 1, level 2 is going to start coming from partners if it's not already. So that's why if you're an end user, you need to be thinking about who you hitch your wagon to as a partner. It's no longer, oh, I buy it from partner A today and partner B tomorrow based off whoever gave me the best deal on licenses. It's that value add. And Broadcom has leveled the playing field. So there's no sweetheart deal from, large corporations or small. Everybody's on the level playing field. That gives you the power to go where you want to. So partners, if you're out there listening to this, VMUG is a place that we can hook you up with members and end users that need your help. It's no mistake that the amount of employees that Broadcom has been reduced. And again, that's part of because of their model of being business and focusing what they do best. So they're going to focus on making the best software they can. They're going to focus on getting this thing to market the best way they can. And things that they're not good at, are not the best at, they're going to hand it off to somebody else because they don't want it to distract them. So I am all for that model. And then the pendulum swinging back and forth. So this is true. We've seen this in IT. We see it all the time, right? But if it is kind of swing back, I don't know if it's going to swing to on-prem mostly. I probably kind of settle somewhere in the middle, depending on your job, depending on your company. But this is great news for our VMUG members because you've got the skill set and something familiar that you know with vCenter and vSAN, and vSphere. And then if you haven't done things like vSAN and NSX, hang on, it's going to get easier. It's going to get an easier way for you to get into this with VCF. So licenses have changed. I know pricing has changed in many cases because of the reduction of the 4 SKUs. Your price might have gone up, but you have to look at the additional software that you're getting. And candidly, you're going to have to figure out a way to use it to justify, in some cases, the price jump because of the new software that you're getting. So that's pretty much wraps it up for what I wanted to talk about through this. I hope you find this valuable. And if you haven't seen the rest of the keynote, watch it. It's only 60 minutes. And later on, you got Paul Turner. You got Chris McCain up there. Chris, of course, is a big-time keynote for VMUG all over the place. So lots of good things in the keynote. All right, well, we will wrap it up. Please put your comments wherever you see this, and I will hop on to as many to reply. You can always follow me on X @BradTompkins_. Thank you.